Hey gamers, so I have no video idea, so we're just gonna make a tier list of all the 20th Century Fox fanfares. I have 10 fanfares, which I think are the main ones. There's one down there. So let's just get on it with. First, to start off with some automatic S tiers, ones that I really like. First one being the 1977 shortened version. So the reason I like this one is because it just sounds alive and loud, and I like the choice of instruments because honestly it almost sounds like an organ. And then the dude literally pounds the drums and breaks them while he's playing it. I am a freaking army drill sergeant, so yeah, that's why it's getting S tier. Another one that's up there, in my opinion, is the 1954 shortened version. It's for similar reasons as the 1979 version, because, you know, the dude, again, pounds the drums. But, I also really like the instrument choice here. In fact, I honestly can't decide which one I like better between 1979 and 1954. So, there's that. And then we have the OG. Everyone knows it. Well, they should know it at least, if you're in the local community. And it's the original 1935 version. I love it. I just love everything about this fanfare. It sounds so much different from the rest, and it just, I just really like it. The drums don't really play a major part, but that's where the trumpet really kicks in, and it almost screams compared to all the rest of them, where it's mainly the drums. So, yeah, that gets a S tier. Now we're gonna go ahead and rank some A tiers. The 1977 variant, which was used in various films, such as Star Wars, Cannonball Run, the original Star Wars. But we'll get on to the rest of the Star Wars in a minute here, because I have lots of things to say about them. Yeah, it just gets an A tier because there's just something about the instruments that I really like. But the only reason I don't like it is because in a lot of its appearances, it has some sort of chorus effect where the instruments sound really, like, weird. But yeah, I just really like it. Like, definitely not as 1979, 1954, or 1935, but it's still pretty solid. I like it. Now it's time for the other 1954 version, and I don't necessarily like this one all that much. I don't necessarily like it because I think it's overused in like parodies and things, and I just don't really like it all that much. So that's why it's getting somewhere around in between B and a C tier. I don't necessarily know which one to put it in. Might decide later. Not sure. Now we're moving on to the actual original one from 1933, the original 20th Century Pictures Jingle. Now there's two versions of this, and honestly, they're so similar. I'm only just gonna rank one of them. That being the original one that was discovered. So, yeah, I don't necessarily like this one all that much, but it's certainly not terrible either. Like, it's sort of like how the 1935 logo worked, but way worse. Way worse. Like, not even in the same league, so it's getting a C tier, actually. In the end, it literally just sounds like a train wreck, like, jeez. Next up, the 1982 extended version. I do like this one, and it's probably my favorite extended fanfare. Certainly not the best, like, you know, in general. So it's getting somewhere around a B tier, in my opinion. I like how the instruments sound. This was used in a lot of movies that I watched as a kid. I have some nostalgia with this one, but not necessarily the best one that is out there, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna save the Star Wars one for last because I have so much things to say about it. So, let's just go on to the 1994. Now, I do really like this one, and I will say it's pretty solid for the time. And especially, it actually really fits with the logo. It's definitely one of my favorite extended ones, but compared to the S and A tier, definitely not. I'm gonna have to put it in between. I'm gonna put it in between A and B tier because it is actually really good, but that would mean that this is a whatever. This one doesn't really sound that good compared to this anyways, so bada bing bada boom. 1997 from the film Anastasia. I don't necessarily like it a lot. It's definitely one of my favorite extended fanfares again, but again, nothing compared to these, so I'm gonna have to put that in like a B, put it in the middle of B and C, just like Zolpal 54 extended. Alright, now we're really getting to the bane of my existence. The current 20th Century Fox logo sounds like absolute shit. It sounds so generic. They've been using it for over, what? Let me do the math.
Quick math.
23 years, over 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. Longer than the 1987 WTGW logo. And, it still sucks. I don't know why anyone would want this to still be used, because it's absolute garbage. It's getting a D tier. It's getting a D tier. Alrighty, so now it's time for the final one. Step into my office, Star Wars variant. Now, when I talk about the Star Wars variant, I mean every single jingle that's been used ever since the 1977 original film. Every single reorchestration afterward for the Star Wars films has been extremely, practically the same. To the first few's credit, they do sound pretty alright. Certainly better than one specific reorchestration that I cannot defend at all. I think the main reason I don't necessarily like this one is because of the weird instruments. Now, I know I said the 1935 one, and a lot of these other ones had interesting instruments, but they actually sounded good. It literally sounds like the Star Wars one has nasal congestion, which I probably do too, but I don't care. However, the main reason that I do not like this one, and I cannot defend it, one particular reorchestration in the catalog has been exploited to near death. The 2005 reorchestration used for Star Wars Episode 3. I loathe that one so much because it's been overused and it sounds like absolute garbage. So it's definitely, in my opinion, getting an F tier. If I could put it lower, I will, but the laws of physics won't allow me. Well, gamers, there you have it. My opinions on the Fox fanfares. Overall, most of them are pretty solid. However, if you really look at most of the newer ones, they're not necessarily that good. And Star Wars is in a whole different new category. Please, just get out of the internet, you absolute abomination. No one likes you. And if they do, they probably just bought you off Amazon Music for like $2. Alright, gamers, have a good night. No new PTLE until December, okay? Alright, gotta go. So, boom!